I'm back. So I survived my starter's um, fifth birthday party. Um, it was it's one of those things where you know how like you worry about things, and then at the end of the day you realize you shouldn't have worried in the first place. It was nothing to worry about. That's me. I totally was worried for no reason. Um, there was a sad moment, and it was when I had to tell my daughter after she woke up from her nap that she saw the birthdays set up, and it was a party looking, the balloons and all that kind of stuff, and the table was set up and her presents was out, and she was like, "So my friends coming now?" And I had to tell her that they weren't, and then she started crying, and it's like, how do you tell a kid, your friends can't come? But you have to tell her, you don't want to get everybody sick. You don't want them to get you sick or mommy sick. Right now, we'll have a party later. You'll get to see your friends. So she did get to see her cousins. We had to do social distancing. My sister made sure that her kids stayed in the car, in the trunk. They sat, the trunk pulled up in the van. And then my two sat on the ground on a blanket, and they ate their the cupcakes and the candy bags I was making that other night. And so it was cool, like, for that reason. And then I had to keep her busy. Like, we painted, we played Play-Doh, we played with slime, we we played kickball. We went to my mom's, played on the playground at her place. So it was just a bunch of going, because their dad didn't get off until like 6. So we couldn't start the party until 8, really, because he had to get off work and then get her bike, bring the cake and stuff. And he had to get charcoal for the food. So he ended up grilling. We had steaks. I bought the steaks and hot dogs and everything, and they ended up being really good. We had a good time. Like, at the end of the day, when it comes down to me next, we can throw a good party. Like that, we can do. We work well together. That's the thing. We can't live together. We can't be together, but we can work well together when it comes to, putting stuff in together. We have that Aquarius, we have that in common, and we have fun. And it was nice because it's like at this point in time we can't have people, and so at least it's somebody familiar. And so, and when she saw her bike that she got, that was it. She was like, she's a big girl now, because that's what she wanted. She got her yo-yo, she got, I think she wanted, but when she saw that bike, it was over. and she kept saying, she told me and her dad, she's like, this is the best birthday ever. And I just like, it just, kids teach you so much about what's really important in life. And she didn't care about, of course she cared about the friends, but it wasn't, at the end of the day, that wasn't what was most important to her. It was that her dad, her mom, her sister were there. And we love her. We had fun together, and that was it. And then I think this whole, like, being in quarantine and everything is just showing me, like, how important family is. I'm Zooming with family members I've never talked to before, like my dad's side. That's cool. I'm talking to my sisters and my brothers more, my parents more, just because I really genuinely miss them. I love them. And it's sad that it takes things like this to bring people together, but it has for me. And with my kids, it just showed me how we raise some really good kids, because they're not spoiled. And for both of them to say best day ever, and they didn't have much. She didn't have toys. Like, I got her like paints and the clay thing or whatever, building thing, and crowns, and the bike was just the main thing for her. Like, that was it for her. But it's just like, she didn't have to have the bouncy house. Like, because let me tell you, we probably would have got a bouncy house or two. We would have, had the friends and had this and the big cake and this, and it just would have been a lot, and that would have been great too. But it's like, and again, at the end of the day, that all that stuff in money, saying $30. That's what I spent, you know what I mean, for her party stuff. I think it was like $20 for the other stuff for her presents, and and because I got everything on Amazon and stuff, $30 because it was from a Dollar Tree. Because the balloons, they were all $1. So it's just like I learned to budget. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, it's just like life just tends to teach us so many things, and my kids teach me so much too. They teach me, like, as a parent, that it's just that it's you that they want, Daria, when it was kind of late and stuff, so it was nighttime and all that, and their dad and dad, we were drinking and and stuff, and so she's the one, she tells Daddy, you stay here tonight. She goes, you sleep on the couch, and she brought it was this blanket, I think, downstairs, and she brings it all the way downstairs, throws it on the couch. You're sleeping on the couch, Daddy. Like, who is this kid? How old is she? Like, she's such an adult. And, and it was fine with me, because I'm like, I wouldn't want him out there, driving, cops and everything. But it's like, I don't know, like, again, kids are they're way more adults than we are. At the end of the day, they are way more adults than we are. I couldn't say anything, and their dad was like grateful. When we talk, he'll mention like regrets, about how things happen, and somebody asked me, like, do you think that he'd want to get back together? And I was always saying no, because no, I never thought that. But it's like, the more we talk, he's always like kind of leaning to that, and I'm like, but he's mentioning, like, he saw how, like, he was, and how he just, how he's sad how things happen, and he's grown and all that kind of stuff. And it's not like he knows I'm not getting back with him, but it's just like he's just, I guess he's like taking a look back at his life and back at how things happen and how he could have done things differently, is what he said. And so, and like I told him, I was like, I'm cool being your friend, you know what I mean? Like, we're gonna be in each other's lives anyway for however, 18 years or more anyway. So it's like, we might as well learn to get along and be there. And so he's family at this point. Heck, I have his last name still, so because I'm lazy and I don't want to actually go to get it done again, because it took so long to get my name changed in the first place. And this is another reason why, and this is what I was thinking too. If I were to get married again, that would be a whole nother, like, I don't want to go through that. It's just, it's a lot to get your name changed. I sat in the DMV for like 6 hours when I got it changed the first time. And I was thinking, getting it changed back. And then if I were to get married, getting it changed back again to something else. That's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's not even worth it. Like, at the end of the day, I'm like, is it even worth getting, like, married? And yes, it is. Only because, for me, and this is how I'm thinking, practical purposes. To me, it has nothing to do with, like, the institution of marriage and whatnot. I feel like you can be committed to somebody and be faithful to them and all the above without being married, quote unquote married. But it's the sake of security in regards to, if I were to die, or the kids, or if he were to die, it would be, there would be safeguards, there would be protections, and ways to help you, you know what I mean, take care of you at the end. You know what I'm saying? If any one of your demises. So that's the only reason, to me, to be honest. Because to me, it's just a paper. It is. It's just a ring, you know what I'm saying? It's the commitment is within your you and that person. That's it. You know, the ceremony and all that stuff is cool, but you can have all that, you can have all the paper and everything, but if you aren't committed and that's not what you really believe, that you and that other person are bonded together, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Heck, they didn't have, like, back in slavery days, they didn't have no marriage certificates and no, you know, rings and stuff. They couldn't afford all that. So I'm just kind of, but they were just as married, were they not? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I don't know. I just kind of look at things differently these days. I just do. And talking about worry, speaking about worrying, so your girl got a job. Finally. I was worried. And not because I didn't think I was going to find a job. It's because COVID is like changed everything. And so this is like prime time for educators, you know, to find jobs. Everybody's on those platforms looking for jobs, applying, they're hiring, they're interviewing. This is the time they do it. Heck, March is really, you know, April is when they started all that. But this whole thing put a halt to all of it. So it's like, this is kind of late. You know, because principals try to have their people locked in, you know, at least by June, you know what I'm saying, at the latest June. And so I just don't happen, this is how the world and God works and how the universe works and everything like that. So back to my friend Stephanie. Hey girl. She gave me some advice. She said, put your name on, like, put your status, like you're looking for jobs, because we're on these educator Facebook page groups, stuff like that. And just say you're looking for a job, you're in Georgia, you're ELA. If anybody's looking for, you know, an English teacher, you know, stuff like that. Well, I did that, and somebody asked, well, where in Georgia? Are you in Georgia? Where in Georgia? And it was like back and forth until one of the women, her name was Anissa, contacted me. And it's funny because her name's Anissa and my name is Anissa. And so weird. She spells her name with one S. I have two S's. And it's like, we got to talking on Messenger, and we found out we have so much in common. We're like the same person. It's really weird, to be honest. She's going to be a literacy coach in the elementary school next year. So the school that she's at, she was telling me about it. It reminded me so much of the school I taught at in North Georgia, and how, like, the principal's really back, really, like, family oriented, but the people, you know, you treat you like family. The kids are good, you know, not really any discipline problems and stuff, and they're really strong and disciplined, which I'm a fan of. So I was just like, wow, this sounds so much like the other school. Because, like, to be honest, if me and the ex didn't break up, I would have stayed at the school in North Georgia. I loved that school so much. And so when she was describing it, it reminded me of that school. And she ended up emailing or calling the principal, because it's an 8th grade English position. And I ended up getting the interview the next day, and I got the job. She was like, it's unanimous. We all loved you. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's how it just happened. Like, I hadn't even applied. Like, when I had an interview, I hadn't even applied yet on the website, because the website they don't have one for that county. And so I was like, I didn't even know where to go. Because she had my resume and all my other stuff. So yeah, I did all that. I was like, that's what's up. Oh man. Or as like my friend Stephanie would say, look at God. So it's just like a load off of my back, because like that's really stressful. Like, I knew I couldn't go back to the other place. I just couldn't go drive that far again and be stressed out. And then also, the elementary school is right across the street from me. So my daughter will be able to go to kindergarten in the school like right across the street from mine. So I'm excited. So yeah, it's just like, it's crazy, because you're always wondering about how how life is going to unfold and what's going to happen and if it's going to happen. And it's like, you just have to have faith and just know that it'll happen, but it's like, it's the timing. I think that's the hardest part for me. It's the timing of it all. You know, is it going to happen? How's it going to happen? Who's it, you know? And then a lot of times it's just like, you got to be patient and just kind of wait. And so, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it all, with life and everything. Y'all know I couldn't get off here without at least telling you about this Facebook page again. So, okay. This guy, this is why I go back and I look at my videos and I'm like, I sound super petty and a little judgmental when it comes to, you know, these guys. And I don't want to come off like that because I know how it sounds, but it's like, nobody really knows like the inner work. I don't really talk about the inner workings of these conversations because it's like, I'm usually talking about a bunch of different things, so I don't even think about it. So this is why I say I cut people really quickly. Okay, so this one guy, not typically my type, okay, but like I said, I usually give people a chance, you know what I'm saying, to kind of like, let me just see who you are and how, you know, if we vibe. So I knew if I befriended him, he'd probably start going on in the DMs, which happened. And I like to think when I'm like messaging people, like, what am I trying to say? What am I going to say next? That kind of stuff. And they're just like firing off. So I get like a little overwhelmed sometimes. So this is the conversations that I get. And my cat Patch, or that's my old cat. Oh, that Patch, Coda. He's sitting down here, so that's why I'm petting him. Okay, so this is, I'm reading this so you can kind of get an idea, because he just sounds different. Hope you're doing fine despite the challenging times we shall overcome. I'm okay, but I'm just praying for things to come back to normal. There's a lot of uncertainty, but I am holding on faith over fear. So how's your family? Blah, blah, blah. This is it right here. So how's your family? Hope great. So do you, with the thumbs up sign, so do you have your own family or yet to start one? And I was like, I have my own family, blah, blah, blah. And so he was divorced. He says he had to move on. And he was really nice. He said, honestly, you're so pretty. And I know for sure you are a wonderful mother. You would also be a great wife. So what do you like to do in your free time? Which is fine. And then he goes, I know all girls like to do shopping. So what else apart from that? So this is like before I respond. I know all girls like to do shopping. So what else other than that? So you assume I like to shop. And then he goes, cool, if you meet a serious person who is interested in you, would you like to settle down and build a happy family? And so I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. And I'm just like, I kind of take things slow, blah, blah, blah. And so he just, he keeps talking about, so you can settle down with someone who already has kids, like he loves you with passion. And it's just like, he just says things like, I know that you make me very happy, blah, blah, blah. I really enjoy talking with you. You're a wonderful lady. This and that. None of that sounds bad, right? But it goes into the whole, you make a great wife. You're going to, and it's just like, you skipped so many steps. And that, and that's what gets me, that's what makes me recoil and come back to myself. And I'm like, I can't put myself out there. I don't want to talk about marriage. I know I was married. I know. I just don't want to talk about that right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to talk about the future in that regards right now. Like, if you're telling me that you want something serious and you're looking for something serious, that's all we need to talk about. We can move on, getting to know each other. You know what I'm saying? What do you like to do? I like to read. You like to read? What's your favorite movie? That just basic 101 in dating. Okay? Like, I don't want to get into the far into like we're, it's almost like we're married and we're talking about, or we're dating and we're talking about what it would be like to be married. We're not even dating, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, there's got to be steps to these things. You got to take the right steps in order for me to get my trust in you. Like, there's got to be steps and there's levels to it, you know. And I feel like some of these guys, they skip so many levels because it's like what women, they think women want to hear. They think women want to hear the M word, and oh yeah, he's serious. You know what I'm saying? You'd make a good wife. Oh yeah, like that's a buzzword for her. And it's like, those aren't buzzwords for me. I've already been married. Like, you can work that with someone who probably was single and just really wanted to get married and they were just kind of desperate and all that kind of stuff. That might work on her. But for someone like me who's already been there and I've seen what it's like to be married and how it's great, but it's not all that people think it's, if they haven't married. It's not all that everybody thinks it is if you don't know what it is. It's not a fairy tale. And it's like, there's so many other things to it. And I don't want to be fed lines. I don't want to be fed this, you know, romantic view of what it's going to be like, when I know it's not going to be like that. I know you're not like going to be this perfect person. I know that. But it's just like, I don't know. I just, it's like I was telling a friend of mine, I want to be friends first. Like, I want to find somebody that we are just cool. We click. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know what I mean? Before all of that extra stuff. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want. You know, that's what I'm looking for. So, I know that that one guy I was saying about, that texted me or whatever. We've been texting today. And he seems pretty cool. He's keeping it basic, which is what I like. But, you know, he's keeping it basic because he's going through a divorce right now. So, it's like, it's safe. It's like, we're probably, you know, very similar in our mindsets. And I kind of like that because it's like, he's not trying to go too fast. And I think at the end of the day, that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that can lead gradually into something serious. But I'm not looking for anything serious right off the top. I don't know if anybody really should do that right off the top. But, like, for me, I'm just kind of like, let me just get to know you and feel safe, you know what I'm saying? And not think you're a murderer or something like that, you know? So, on here, because you got to be safe on these things. You just don't know, you know what I'm saying? People can tell you anything, and you can't just believe everything people say. But, that's my Chick-fil-A. But it's just like, I don't know. It is one of those things where, as a female, single female, you got to be careful with these men out here, because you don't know. You have 2 kids, 2 little girls, and you don't know where people's minds are. That's another thing, you know. You don't know if it's like these guys are out here and they're just like looking for a female who's single with kids because they're pedos. You know what I'm saying? And they prey on women like that. Oh, I'm gonna tell her this because it's gonna be what she wants to hear, and this and that, and trying to win you over, you know. And then they're good with the kids and all that kind of stuff, and you know what I mean, only to attack a kid. And I'm like, I don't need anything like that to happen to me, because I'm going straight to jail, because they won't live after they touch my kids. You know what I mean? So it's like, I have to be straight on the front end. You know what I mean? I have to be very critical and very careful on the front end, because that's I have to be. You know what I'm saying? I have to be safe for myself, but not only for myself, but for my kids, because it's not just me out here. You know what I'm saying? It's different if it was just me, but I got them, you know. So I take it very serious. So I'm very critical, because you just don't know. And I don't like to put that on everybody, but you got to. I mean, You have to. People hurt kids that are they're in their families. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I don't put anything past anyone. You know what I'm saying? And it's a sad way to be. It's a cruel world, and you just got to be smart about it. And so, yeah, that's kind of where I stand. And it might be a while. I might be single for a while, and and things like that. But you know, it's worth it in the end. It's worth it to make sure that they're right for me and they're gonna be right for my kids. So, but yeah, so that's I'm gonna stop here, and I'm gonna have to get my sneakers on because my daughter's gonna want to ride her bike, and I'm gonna have to run down this hill again. It's been a workout. So, but yeah, so till next time, peace.